In this lecture of IAS 38, we are going to cover different types of internally generated intangible assets. Different companies make different kinds of expenditures on their internally generated assets. All of them cannot be capitalized in the statement of financial position, and all of them cannot be expensed out to statement of profit or loss. Over here in this lecture, we will see what are the different types of expenditures, and out of those expenditures, we will cover the accounting treatment of research expenses. Starting off with different types of internally generated assets. First of all, we have already discussed the internally generated assets, which are never going to be capitalized in the statement of financial position. Why? Because they are not separable from the business. These include goodwill, market share, customer lists, internally generated brands, etc. But then, in case of IAS 38, at times an internally generated expense is incurred for a separate project. Now, because it is separable, so another criteria is applicable on it. IAS 38 in this case says that you have to identify whether that separate project is research expense or it is development expense. The difference between these two is that while the company is looking for a new product, that is the research phase, and when the research becomes successful, we call it development expenditure. If a company can identify between these two, then the accounting treatment becomes very easy. But the main struggle with respect to companies lies in identifying the fact that whether a particular expense meets the criteria of research or does it meet the criteria of being a development expenditure. Over here, let's first see what is research and how can a company identify whether it is conducting research or not. IAS 38 says that research is expense that you incur on original and planned investigation. What does this show us? That if the idea is not original, for example, if a pharmaceutical company is looking for a vaccine for a new kind of disease, then that is original and it is a planned investigation. If a technology-based company is looking for development of a new kind of technology, that is also original and planned investigation. But if the company was not actually looking for the vaccination of one disease, it accidentally found out that kind of vaccination, then it is not called a planned investigation. Also, if already the vaccination of a particular disease exists, then it will not be classified as an original idea. So for an expense to be even classified as research expense, it needs to be original and planned investigation. If the investigation is not original and it is not planned, I am not saying it is not an expenditure of the business. It is still an expenditure of the business, but it cannot be classified as research expense. Now, the second part of this definition is that it has to be there to gain new scientific and technical knowledge. Definitely speaking, if you're talking about an original and planned investigation, it has to be to find out something new, to find out a new solution to a particular problem. Any such expense incurred by a company is going to be called a research company. In case of research expense, if a particular expense meets this criteria or definition that has been set out by IAS 38, then IAS 38 says that its accounting treatment is going to be that all research expense is immediately charged as expense in the statement of profit or loss. So as soon as the expense is incurred in the same accounting period, it is immediately charged to statement of profit or loss, and the name used to show this kind of expense is called research expense. Now, a few more clarification points with respect to accounting of research. Research can be done in-house or it can be outsourced to a third party. Ultimately, the purpose is this, the definition is being met, and even if you are getting your research done through a third party and you are paying for it, that expense is going to be classified as research expense. If you are the company who is doing research on behalf of a third party, so you are the party to which the work has been outsourced. You're not the party who is outsourcing. You are the one who is doing a research on behalf of someone else, then please keep this in mind that this is not going to be classified as research expense. Rather, when you're providing a service or doing some work on behalf of a third party, then for your own company, it is going to be under IFRS 15. This expense is going to be treated as your cost of sales, and any amount that is received against it is going to be recognized as a revenue expenditure. So in your exam question also, you have to see whether you are doing research for your own company or you are doing a research on behalf of a third party. If you are doing research on behalf of a third party, then in the financial statements of that third party, this expense is going to be called research expense. For your company, it is going to be a service provision for which you are going to recognize revenue under IFRS 15. If you have purchased a certain research from a third party, then that is going to be capitalized in your financial statements as an intangible asset, because now it is a separable asset which meets the definition of intangible asset under IAS 38. But once again, please keep this in mind that this is now going to be your intangible asset under IAS 38. It is not going to be called your research expense that you can charge in your statement of profit or loss. The expense in statement of profit or loss will clearly only be accounted for if this particular definition is met. IAS 38 is this strict about meeting the definition because they don't want that companies mislead their shareholders by showing that they are doing research expense when in original they are not doing it. So in reality, when you are actually doing a planned and an original investigation, at that point in time, it can be showed in your financial statements as research expense. This is all with the accounting treatment of research expense. This is the most important point of the accounting treatment. I hope it is now clear to you. Thank you.